I experienced as a teacher and then as a supervisor was common obstacles that we always face with writing the research paper with students. The topics were too general, too narrow. They didn't have enough research. We didn't have enough credible sources. Sources were cited incorrectly. It was just very cumbersome all over the place. It wasn't streamlined as much as we would like in the department. It was just, it was like an ongoing process from October to June. And it was just a beast. We called it the beast. How can we simplify the research process? We also use multiple tech tools to organize, to annotate, EasyBib. So it was just all over the place and difficult for us to do it well. So once we learned about Scrible, I learned about Scrible in the springtime of last year, pre-COVID, I think. When I saw this process, I was like, wow, I wish I was teaching again because this would have made my life entirely easier because it was just a one-stop shop. It had everything there from being able to curate your library to creating annotated bibliography to be able to have your outline, and then you can write your paper and sync it to this platform. So it was just, I was blown away. I was like, my teachers and everyone, they're going to love this because I love this. So it became, like I said, easier to track and see where everyone was, the students specifically in the process. And like I said, it was very cumbersome before because we collected note cards, we collected their annotated sources, and it was like difficult to track whether where the student was, and then really difficult to sit down and conference with them and pick out those struggling students. But with Scrible, since we have those analytical data right there, we can troubleshoot very easily. We can also see the type of sources, like Heidi mentioned, that they're using. So I took a screenshot. Actually, one of my teachers sent this because they were doing a very small project, research project, and they were. She can easily tell. She was like, one was academic, something was another type of source. So she could easily troubleshoot if she wanted to, if she didn't want that student to use that other source. And overall, it just reduced the research process time. It has reduced it tremendously. For things that would take 1 week, we've been able to get it done in a class period. So like I said, it simplified the process, even for annotating. We usually have our students print out the sources and then either create note cards or highlight and then write annotations on the side, and then collect all of that. So if each kid is doing 6 or 7 sources, that becomes cumbersome and very tedious for the teacher to grade, and things get lost in the shuffle. Having this all in one spot has been great because it's there, it's easy to read, she can reply, she can comment, and give immediate feedback on how the student is thinking about using the source or what they see in that source. Another thing that we love is that it can help for our special ed students, our ELs, and our struggling readers. Like I said, I'm the supervisor of ESL also. So having that translation feature has been huge because a lot of our ELs, they struggle with the research. Sometimes these articles are above their proficiency level in what they can read in English. So being able to have that be translated in their language. We have many Spanish students, so having that ability to have that translated in Spanish has been huge for us because it helps for them to understand more what they're reading. The read aloud has also been huge for our IEP students or special ed students because some students, as you know, have that in their IEP that things need to be read aloud, and they have that feature then embedded. All you do is, highlight that section of the article and it reads it to you. So that's a wonderful feature. And as well as it has a dictionary feature. So if any student comes across a word that they don't know, it will define it for you. So I thought that that has been great features that my teachers have raved about. So I want to just show you here a small clip of one of my English teachers. This is right off the training. He wanted to use it. We got started in October of this year, and he jumped right into Scrible. So I want to show you the video. Hopefully, let me pull it full screen.
What I just did.
There we go.
All right.
Is everyone?
I went and found a source. And really, I'm just in one database. I just typed in Bram Stoker. So this one sounds interesting too. Something in the Blood, the Untold Story of Bram Stoker, the man who wrote Dracula. I would go for the PDF full text for any of these sources. And again, a lot of these sources are going to be ones that you take yourselves. So I'm saving this because it's easier. It's easier to upload a PDF.
But you can, with the Scribble extension, you can easily save that to your library through that extension. You don't
go to my sources. Again, don't worry. This is not the last time I'm doing this for you. Choose file. Bram Stoker 2. Okay, close. So see, I have, like, when I say you need 3 sources for this, I have 2 of them done already. I even though I'm like stumbling through this is going way faster than a typical research paper. All right. Usually searching is you got to search it, then you have to write the citation and blah, blah, blah. This just does everything. So let's go one more on Bram Stoker. All right, let's see. Ooh, critical ratings. No, but I'll come back to that. That'll be good for the last part. All right, Bram Stoker, author of Dracula. No, I don't love that it doesn't have a PDF. I'd rather it have a PDF. Great authors, they're very, very. Let's see, something in the Blood, resource, chronology. This should be good. This should be good. Okay, PDF full text. Let's have it. Resources. Is this any good? I mean, it's basic, but you know what? Probably something very helpful. And Bram Stoker 3. Then I'm going to upload it to Scrible. Choose file. It's easier if you save them as a PDF on your Chromebook. It does not keep PDFs, so upload it. This thing does not. The Chromebooks don't save stuff for long. But boom, I have my 3 sources. All right, I'm a little amazed right now because I've been to literally 1 training on this, and I'm also fumbling a little in the dark. And I already did something that usually takes students like 3 class periods to do.
So there, so that's just
what I just did.
Sorry, let me pause it. Let me. All right. Sorry. Crazy. So that's just the first time, and he dove right in, and he was amazed. He still talks about how amazing this platform is and how easy it's been able to just streamline the process for us. So the next thing that I want to talk about is collaboration between students, teachers, and the librarian. So as you know, I also oversee the library. Initially, that's not a role that I was supposed to have, but I'm passionate about the library. I think it's the hub of the school, the heart, where literacy just can blossom and grow and support every department I guess that's a little bit of the English teacher in me. So prior to taking on the library, the teacher-librarian relationship at North Brunswick Township High School was very minimal. Teachers really didn't go to the library. They didn't really go to the library to collaborate with the librarian. They just went to use the computers, and that was basically the extent of it. A lot of them said because it was a lack of time, they were honest in saying they just didn't want to give up control and have someone else teach their classroom. And really, they didn't know, they weren't knowledgeable about what a librarian could assist them for. So that collaboration really wasn't happening. And I thought that was a missed opportunity, a missed resource. Even the student librarian relationships were very minimal. Students would just really go to the library to print, and that was it. They weren't there to do much more. So I really wanted to increase all of that. And I know that librarians are very resourceful, very useful. They're because they have a wealth of information about information literacy and everything else, and they're great with research. So across our departments in social studies and English and in science, that's something that we do. So I'm like, this is an untapped source. So once I took this over, I was like, these are all the different ways that, our librarians can assist. They can, research instruction. They can help you align content. They can help you build a classroom library. And we went from there. So the steps towards meeting those needs of the kids, I started to have our librarian go participate in our professional learning communities to see what teachers needed, what every department was doing. Create surveys to really see what materials our teachers needed in the library so that it would be more useful for them. We also created a grassroots makerspace based on what the kids wanted to tinker with and explore and research. We held book talks during lunch. We invited authors. We created a suggestion box for both teachers and students to tell us what they wanted to see in the library. And we even held book contests to just get that literacy going. But something was still missing. Even though all of this was happening that hadn't happened before, collaboration wasn't really still occurring. Teachers weren't going there so that the librarian could assist them for lessons, and students weren't really tapping into that source either. So once we brought Scrible, this tool changed that because it increased that librarian classroom teacher collaboration. Because on Scrible, the librarian was added as a co-teacher. She assisted in that curating process of gathering those those sources through the databases for the students. She showed kids how to use the databases, how to tell credible sources, and she assisted the teacher in those beginning stages of the research. And because she was added as a co-teacher on Scrible, she was then able to view student progress. She was able to review these sources. She became that teacher and review the credibility of the sources and the citations. And so she was able to assist the teacher throughout that process, tailor lessons, create mini lessons to help target those students that needed that additional support. So it was another person that was assisting in this process. And once our ELA teachers, all our ELA teachers caught on, we now have our science teacher that goes to, ask our librarian to how to use Scribble, how can they get on this? And then also our social study teachers also are now, asking us how can we use this platform? How can this be used in our classrooms? And so she is now, she's wanted. She's a wanted woman now. Everyone wants her in the classroom. So these are things. Our librarian also teaches the AP seminar course, and I'll go into that. But this is a little bit of what she saw, and you can see here what she said. So when she was looking at the sources, it showed her the number of assignments, if the assignment is saved, turned in, and what types of sources. So these are all the things that she was seeing in those classrooms as she was reviewing that as a co-teacher. She can also tell, like the pie chart, it told her what type of sources had been selected. Specifically, this student had an academic one and a news source. So she was able to see whether or not they were credible sources and what type of sources that they did have. Sorry. And then here's another snapshot. So here she can see also where the red bars started to take over the screen. This is where most of the students have started or are in the process of working on their annotations, so she could check that out. And then she could see where the next phase of the class was going to be, which was to get more annotations and meet that 7 word minimum comment. So she can check that out and assist the teacher if it's needed. So like I said, our librarian also teaches that AP seminar course. Because it's such a research-based course, I thought naturally our librarian would be the best resource to teach that class. And so she uses Scrible in the classroom to help her manage all of the assignments for this course. She uses it to monitor student progress, like you saw. She also uses it, like Heidi does, to reteach any skill, any concept, because she's able to troubleshoot early on and really target those students that haven't met maybe the number of sources needed, haven't started, haven't cited properly. So she's able to really sit down one-on-one with those students. She's able to grade easier, so she doesn't have to carry all of those papers around because everything's in a one-stop shop. And then communication. If a student needs to see where they're at, she can speak to them, have a mini conference if she needs to, because it's now more targeted. She can spend a longer amount of time with the students that need it the most. She can also speak to their counselors, to their parents, and give more targeted and more specific information about what the students are doing in the classroom and how they can improve. So why Scrible? It saves time. I think that is the one thing that teachers lack. That's one thing that we all lack, time. And this platform really allows us to target the things that we need to target and not worry about all that. Oh, did he get the sources or the citation? Like Heidi said, we can focus on more of the core of the paper and more of the research and those skills instead of all those other things that we sometimes trip over. We're a Google school, so this syncs beautifully with Google Docs and our Google Classroom. It also builds a student organization because it builds those executive function skills. Everything is there for them. It curates that library, it annotates, it color codes for them. They can choose, how to highlight different notes. It also then helps them with that outline and those citations. And it's a platform that, like I said, that has everything from start to finish. We also love it because it's beneficial for all our learners, our special ed students and our EL students can use this, and it'll help them read their sources and help them to understand. And it's, like I said, it's not only an ELA or librarian tool, it's a tool that all departments can use to help them write and do that research. So thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me.